Hi guys, it's Dale with the insurance. Today we're talking about an article that some of us may have had experience with. It's pretty intuitive. It's a long article because it's a complex topic. Title of the article is "How to Cancel a Life Insurance Policy." Right, and the short answer to the question, it's pretty simple, right? So like you either call your insurance company or go online and ask or and request a cancellation, right? Or, which isn't the best thing to do, is you stop payment, right? Both will end up having the policy be canceled. Now, there are a couple factors. We can't touch on all of them because there's so many nuances to this. But there are a few things to keep in mind as you do this, right? So if you put yourself in the shoes of the insurance company, then you could imagine the type of information that they're going to require, right? So like there are two people that can cancel a policy. The owner of the policy, right? And this goes for any this is a legally binding contract, right? So like someone else can't speak on the owner of the policy's behalf and just say, hey, I want this canceled. You've got to show that you are the owner of that policy, right? So it's the owner of the policy or the insurance company, and that's it. So when you call to cancel, they're going to need to verify that it's you, right? So social security number, driver's license, address, things of that nature, right? So like there'll be a list, and each company is different, right? Now, the nuances come into play because the person insured is not always the owner of the policy, right? So in those cases, for instance, in my case, my parent had died, right? And you go ahead and you call the insurance company, you let them know the situation. They're very understanding because it happens all the time. But they've got to make sure they got to cover themselves for any fraudulent act, right? So like what if I was simply trying to cash out on an insurance policy and said insured had not died? So you go through a litany of paperwork, right? And in this case, it was paperwork to show that what I was saying was in fact true, right? So that my father was the insured and owner of the policy, that I was one of the beneficiaries, and that he had actually passed away. So I had to convey all of that, and like obviously convey that information over the phone, but also I had to back it up with actual documentation, right, to show that each was actually correct. And that's what you will have to do, assuming it's not straightforward, right? If you're the insured and owner of the policy, then boom, straightforward, case closed. You prove that you are you, and you cancel the policy. But anything short of that, it will be a rather long process. The other caveat, just something to think about, is that obviously if you have a term life policy, then there's no kind of cash value attached to that. You cancel it, it's done, contract's done, you don't have to pay anything, but you also don't get anything in terms of of the cash value of the product, because there is no financial product. If it's a whole life policy, then you do have options, right? You have options in which the insurance company will deduct any foregone payments from the value of the asset and obviously provide you what's left over. Or you can look to contact a settlement broker, right, whereby they continue making payments on your policy for an upfront payment to you, right, for that asset. And it's obviously the article, this isn't funny, but the article says, kind of tongue in cheek, that they're not settlement brokers, they're hedge fund brokers, right? Because they're betting on making a payment that's a bargain because they won't have to pay for long, meaning that the insured will die after a very short amount of payments, right? And then they get the full amount, right? So that's also another. If you have a whole whole life insurance, right? Then you have an actual financial product, an asset that's behind those payments that you're making, that once you cancel, you have access to, you have rights to, right? So those are a few things to keep in mind. Just once again, know that when you're looking to cancel, it's life insurance. It may not be as cut and dry as you would hope. But if you put yourself in the insurer's shoes, then you can understand why. There's a lot of fraud that can go on, so they just want to make sure that you are who you say you are connected to the life insurance policy, and what's happened actually has happened, right? And they have to verify that. And it just takes time to go through that paperwork. All right? Thanks for stopping by, guys. Hopefully this was helpful. We'll chat next week. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content. And if you really liked it, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We love hearing from you. We love hearing from our viewers. So be sure to leave a comment below with your thoughts on this video, and we'll see you in the next one.